I've been using the Dremel Stylo a little over a year now. So the big question, is it worth it? Well, I'm going to answer those questions as well as show you how to carve a simple design that anyone can do that looks great. So hang with me today, we're going to have a lot of fun. Before we move on to the wood carving tutorial, let's talk about this thing right here. I mean, look at it. Where is its place? How does it compare to other Dremel style units? Should you buy it? The first thing to note is how small this is. That's because the motor is built inside, and Dremel made this to be a lightweight, versatile unit for light duty to medium duty applications. Now, if I were to compare this to a Dremel 3000 or 4000 with a flex shaft attachment, you see this right here doesn't have a motor. It's just a hand piece, and the end of it just goes right into the Dremel 3000, 4000, or whatever rotary unit you're using, and it drives this. This means that this right here, while it may not have as much power as the Dremel 3000 or 4000 with a flex shaft, this does have its time and purpose where it can serve. One thing I do like about this is the ergonomics. I can just put my finger on here, get in a comfortable position, and get in the nooks and crannies and the hard to get to spaces. The Dremel Stylo is very straightforward and easy to operate. On one side right here you have the power button which turns the unit on, and as you go down you have a speed dial right here that goes from 1 to 5. 1 is 5,000 RPMs, and as you go up, you go to 22,000 RPMs. As you turn this around, you'll notice a little black button right here. Now, the purpose of this is to lock the chuck in place up here so you can change the rotary burrs or bits. So I'm going to demonstrate that. We're just going to press it right in here. We're going to use the provided wrench and just turn, and guess what? We're going to pull that burr right out and exchange it for another one. Now, if we take the nut right here out, you'll notice we have a collet. These collet sizes right here determine which size burrs we can use. Here's my advice. Please listen to me. This will save you a ton of time. Instead of changing your collets out every time you need to use a bigger or smaller type of burr or bit, pick you up a Dremel quick change chuck. This Dremel quick change chuck right here will allow you to change out different bits and burrs and will save you a ton of time. So be sure to pick one of these up for basically all your Dremel tools. The Stylo comes with a long power cord right here, which is awesome because it's flexible. If I were to use this flex shaft unit right here, I still find at times I'm still kind of in binds because I can't get the angle I want. So this skinny power cord takes care of that problem for me. Before we move on to the carving tutorial, let me demonstrate the power of the Dremel Stylo. One thing that I like is that Dremel made an auto shut-off mode for this right here. If I put too much pressure on and I put the motor in the bind, it's just going to shut off. And what I have to do is hit the power button to turn it back on. So we're just going to go here and watch this. I need a dust mask. So yes, you see what happened right there? It just put the motor in the bind. You may be asking yourself, is this powerful enough for me? Well, here's the thing. A lot of people do not understand how to carve. You have to let the burr do the work for you. I've really never ran into a problem with this where I needed more power. So as long as you keep your demands reasonable, you can use this for a lot of different projects. I even used a stylo on this right here to do a majority of the detail work. Now, before we start, we need to have a few things set in place. And listen, do not neglect this, okay? We need a dust mask. I'm using this one right here. It just goes right on your face, and I have to get the little attachment. I think I dropped it over there. But okay, this video is really turning out good. All my stuff is apparently falling apart. But anyway, this is the dust mask I use right here. This is pretty comfortable. You have this pressure band around your nose. You can get a good seal right there. And it works great. I just got to get the other part for it now. Now we need a piece of wood to carve on. Now I use basswood because it's easy to start with, it's super soft, and you guys know I'm a huge fan of using these little gift boxes because they're cheap, they're easy to carve on, and I give them as gifts when I'm through. You can see some of the other projects right here that I've made. We're going to take this basswood box now and put a design on it. I believe I will attempt to carve a feather. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Now we are going to move on to our carving. For the majority of the time here, I'm going to be using these two different inverted cone head burrs right here to carve the feather. Open that up. Now we're going to insert this one. And just twist until it's tight. Now to begin carving, we are going to go on the outside of the stem here, which is called the rachis. And we're just going to put our burr on the outside and just trace this line down, trying to stay outside of the line. Hey, I want to invite you to join howtowoodcarve.com. It is completely free, and join our new Facebook group, World of Woodcarvers. It is amazing, so go join that. And also, all the tools I've used in this video you can find in the links below. As you go around the corner here, you're just going to have to take it in sections. Okay, we got that pretty much carved out. Now we're going to go around the edges here, being very careful to keep a straight line around the markings. Now here comes one of the hardest parts right here, and I'm going to give you guys a big secret. Please listen to this. You see along the lines right here, we can leave it like that, but I'm going to take my inverted cone head burr. Now watch this. I'm going to go at an angle and just slightly remove the bevel right there. This is going to make the feather pop out. That is looking really good. Now the next thing we want to do is take a piece of sandpaper. I'm using about 120 grit here. I'm going to fold it up and go at an angle. Go around the whole edge of the feather, getting there at an angle and rolling those bevels down. Now we are going to take this inverted cone head and just go through here and follow the lines and trace them out. The second thing I'm going to do, this is optional, I'm going to take this riffler right here. A riffler is like a file. They come in different shapes. I'm going to take this, I'm going to go along each line of the feather here and just start sanding away and smooth out all my lines that I have. The next thing we are going to use is a bristle disc. This is a very handy little tool right here. Now what this does is get in the grooves of the carvings and just cleans up all the little, I call them the fuzzies down there. So we're going to focus this right here and just getting all the little nooks and crannies. Now I'm going to take a fine piece of sandpaper and just sand the whole thing. Okay, I am about sanded out. Here is what we have. This turned out great. Now, we aren't finished yet. We are fixing to stain it. It looks good as it is, but I'm gonna do something a little extra. Now, before we move on, I want to remind you, join howtowoodcarve.com. It is a free website. I have a lot of updates coming out on there. Also, join our Facebook as well, World of Woodcarvers. I will have everything listed below. Okay, we are going to do one of my favorite things, and that is torch the wood. Now, this isn't necessary. I just do it because of the rustic effect it has. After the box is finished cooling off, you want to give it a light sanding with a piece of sandpaper. Okay, we are ready for some stain. And this is the moment that all the imperfections come out in the wood, because the stain gets in there in the nooks and crannies and really reveals all the unsanded and just harsh looking areas that has not been smoothed over. We're gonna stir this up and start. Wow. Now, we're just going to daub this in here. Let that set for a second. We're going to come back to that. Now, since I don't want this too crazy dark on the front, I'm going to take a napkin and wipe off. There we go. We may go over that again. Look how great that looks. That is looking fantastic. Now, let's go around the whole box. Now, after you apply the stain, take you a lint-free cloth, which I do not have, but I'm using anyway, and just wipe all the way around it and get all the excess stain off. Okay, it's the next day. This is looking pretty good. Look at that. So the next thing we are going to do is urethane this. I'm using Minwax fast drying clear semi-gloss polyurethane. We're just gonna pop the top here and stir. I'm just gonna take the edge of my sponge right here and just go for it. So we're just gonna go around the entire box. So that's looking pretty good. We're gonna open this for some air and let it sit. Okay, the moment of truth. Here we go. I think the natural wood look would have looked just as good, but it's cool seeing the different flavors that this has. The different colors. Color could be a flavor. The different colors that this could have. I hope you enjoyed this video and got a lot out of it. Now, if you take the techniques I've taught you in this video and you begin applying this to your own wood carvings, I think you're gonna be really happy with the results. And you know what? Be easy on yourself. I can look at this and honestly, I've made some mistakes. I can even see right here I went too heavy on the sandpaper and didn't curve the feather in. So you know what? It's all right. We are all learning, and this is what this is about, doing simple carvings and just breaking it down. That way we can do more complex carvings. So in conclusion, is the Dremel Stylo worth it? Yes, in my personal opinion, I love it. Yes, it is. So if you guys want to pick this up, I will leave this in the links below. Be sure to like, comment, and share the video, and subscribe if you haven't done so, and hit the bell notification icon. I'll see you guys in the next video.